is Rabbi Daniel Rabin of the Northeastern Jewish Center. So I'm standing right here at the NEJC library, and I think human beings have been very fortunate that we've had, over the centuries, had the ability to study, to learn, to sharpen our knowledge, to understand the world around us. Today, with the invention, obviously, with the internet and with social media, we're able to learn and see things and grow in our understanding of the world around us. But I think there's a very important message when it comes to this whole concept of knowing things and understanding what's happening around us. And there's a great message in our portion this week, the Parshat of Devarim. We started a new book. And in this book and in this Parshat of Devarim, Moses, the Jewish people's leader, he recounts the episodes that occurred over the 40 years as a leader of the Jewish people. And one of those events that he reminds the Jewish people about is the event known as the event of the Meraglim, the spies, the messengers who had come to see the land of Israel before the Jewish people went and settled in the land. And as we know, the story goes that 10 came back with a negative report. They said, things are terrible, we can't go there. And only 2, Joshua and Caleb, came back with a positive report. And one has to wonder, why is it that Moses, and God for that matter, was angry at the Jewish people listening to the 10 negative reports? Here we had the majority. Everyone was saying it's bad, and only 2 people said that it was good. What's wrong with listening to the voices out there? The majority are speaking loud. And I think what Moses was trying to teach the Jewish people is that even though every single person around you is saying something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. When you look at this, the statement said by the 10 versus the 2, the 10 just said it's bad. They didn't really have an opportunity for the Jewish people to see if their words were actually correct. Because they said, we're not going to go there, so how would anyone know if their words were accurate? Whereas Joshua and Caleb said that the land is good, and their words could have been easily disproved when the Jews actually went to Israel. So their testimony, their words were much more valuable because they were putting themselves on the line. They were giving the opportunity for others to eventually see if their words were correct or not. And I think this message is so true, especially what's going on in Israel today. You know, I was listening to a report by, I think it was CNN, I can't remember, that they were interviewing Naftali Bennett. And the reporter said to him, you know, everyone's saying how bad Israel's doing, you know, so surely you should think it's wrong. And he said, you know what, let's look at the facts on the ground. And he went through step by step explaining why Israel's doing what it is doing. I feel terrible for every single civilian that dies on both sides. But I think as human beings, and from the message in our portion this week, we need to remember, look at the facts properly. Use our understanding. We have libraries, we have things we can research and look at history. And if we do that, even though everyone's crying, everyone's saying things that perhaps the majority are saying one way, don't just be swayed because you hear many voices saying something. Take the opportunity to study, to learn, and please God, when you see the truth, it will bring us to obviously understanding the situation in a much better way. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, and may we have peace in the region for both sides. May the civilians in Gaza have a good future, please God, and of course our soldiers and people in Israel should live a safe and happy life. See you next week.